Just saying, I get to potty when I please. What up? I'm Jamie Grace and welcome to the Jamie Grace Show. 10 years, y'all. We made it. 10 years on YouTube. What? I figured because, 10 whole years and everything, I want to take you guys back to the beginning. And I want to tell you guys how I got started on YouTube. And I think that it might actually be a good way... Woo! Something was in my throat. Every time people say, woo, I always think, the show is hot out here. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I don't mind no dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. You know where that's from? Leave a comment if you know where that's from. Anyways, I think that talking about how I got started 10 years ago was actually a great way to talk about parenthood and parenting, and not parenthood like the show that makes everybody cry, but I'm talking like parenthood and parenting like our mom and dad, and like how they tell us no and how it's annoying and how sometimes you just want to do what you want to do. I've always been like a loud, nutty, crazy kind of cray-cray person. Always a big dreamer, always wanting to do a bunch of stuff. And I asked for a video camera for Christmas when I was 12 years old, like forever. And when my 12th Christmas, I finally got a video camera. I made videos nonstop. But even before that, you guys, I used to make videos staring at the wall. Like, okay, this is the wall over here. There's nobody else in the room. I'm gonna pretend like I have a crew and be like, oh, is that good? But I don't have a crew. So this is the wall, yeah? I would literally do this in my kitchen. Hi guys, I'm Jamie Grace. Welcome to my show. I'm gonna teach you how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But since I don't like jelly, I'm gonna teach you how to make a peanut butter sandwich. So I always had this desire to be on TV, to film stuff, to be, I don't know, just to share my voice with the world. So I got a camera, started making music videos because I thought I was just hilarious. And that continued. And then when I was like 13, I heard about YouTube and I was like, Mom, this is it. I'm gonna be famous. All I gotta do is put videos up on YouTube. And my mom was like, no. By the way, I wanna make sure y'all know that I totally know that there's makeup on my shirt. I just wanted to wear this one today, so it was fun. The very first time I requested of my parents to put my photo online was on the Everlife message boards. I wanted to put my photo on there because some of the other girls had their photos on there, and I was making friends when we were talking about Everlife and how much we loved the band. And I was like, Mom, I want my face on the Everlife message board. I want people to know who I am. And my mom wasn't okay with it. My dad wasn't either. They said that it wasn't safe for me to just be putting my picture out on the internet, so they weren't gonna let me do it. A few months later, I was still 13, 14 at the time. I still had my mind set on putting my picture somewhere on there, but now it was different. Now I wanted it to be on my website. I found this place where you can make free websites, and I had a Jamie Grace website for all my acting and singing. Mind you, all my acting and singing was my own movies that I was making. Oh, and worship at church. So I wanted a website for it. I was like, Mom, what if people want to book me for concerts? And then she was like, well, then I'll talk to them. And I was like, well, that's not fair. I should be able to have my picture on my website. If I'm gonna be a celebrity, I need my picture on my website. Unlike most parents, my parents are the kind of parents where you can just like keep asking for stuff and you get it. There comes a point where if you ask for it too many times, there's a punishment and you still don't get what you want. Personally, I think that's good parenting, but when you're in the moment, it doesn't feel like good parenting. Have you guys ever felt like that? Seriously, leave a comment below if you've ever felt like that. And don't talk bad about your parents. That's not what I'm trying to get you to say, but have you ever felt like you're just trying to get your parents to understand you and they just don't get you? Because that's how I felt. I was so frustrated and so annoyed. So eventually I kind of was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want because I'm a grown up, which I was 14. I was like, I'm a grown up. I can do what I want. I'm mature. I run a fan site for like 5 different bands. I know what I'm doing. I have my own MySpace already. Like, why won't they let me put my picture up? So remember, my parents said under no circumstances was I to put a picture of myself online. It was not something that it was okay. It wasn't like today where everybody's stuff is online. This was 10 years ago. One day I was in the house, and this is kind of random, but I was just thinking about all the things that people used to say about homeschoolers. I used to just think about like, oh, people say homeschoolers are lame. People say we don't have any friends. And it was super annoying, and I wanted people to see that homeschoolers aren't weirdos. I mean, well, maybe there are some weirdos, but like there's weirdos everywhere. I mean, we're all weirdos if we think about it, but you're not weird because you're homeschooled. Maybe you're just homeschooled and weird. You know what I think is weird? Asking permission to go to the bathroom. I hear that's what happens at public schools, so I'm just saying, I get to potty when I please. I'm about to get a bunch of comments from people saying that I'm being rude to public schoolers. I ain't got time for that. Anyways, I was so frustrated with the stuff that people said about homeschoolers, and I'm walking out of the front door of my parents' house. I had my little $120 Polaroid hot pink digital camera. I had gotten a second camera at this point, 2 years later. And I remember taking my camera out and doing a little like selfie mode before we even called it selfie mode and going, "Hi, I'm Jamie Harper."
Hi, I'm Jamie Harper.
I created this character. She was a teenager that was escaping from homeschool for the very first time, and she was absolutely mortified but also extremely excited because she was discovering a car for the first time. She saw a man for the first time. She had never seen a man besides her dad because she was homeschooled, and she had never been in a car before. All these things that she was exploring and discovering, and her mind was blown of all the amazing experiences that she was having. And I created this character called Escape from Homeschool. At the end of the video, if you listen very closely, you can actually hear my mom saying, "Jamie." She was waiting for me because we were supposed to be going to Sam's Club, and it wasn't normal for me to just walk outside by myself and just do my own thing. So I kind of freak out.
Better life.
I jump over to the side like that, turn the camera off, rush inside, and never told my parents I made the video. So very soon after that, I had already started my YouTube account on July 16th, 2006. I was 14 years old. I uploaded my video, did not tell my parents. My parents didn't know how to work social media. They didn't know anything about forums. My dad has email, but they didn't know much about social media at all. So I could kind of get away with it. At this point, MySpace was a thing, I believe, and so I shared my video with a few friends. My few friends shared it with their friends shared it with their friends. Before I knew it, it had gone viral. Now by viral, I mean like a couple hundred, maybe a couple thousand views. It was not the viral that we see today, but a lot of people started to see it. It got to the point where any youth group or homeschool group I would go to, people would be like, "Oh, you're that Escape from Homeschool girl. Oh, you also sing? Do you want to sing here tonight?" No lie, like once I'm at that Walmart, people were like, "Oh, are you Jamie Harper? You know, are you Jamie Grace?" They didn't know if I was going by my middle name or my last name. They'd be like, "Oh, are you the girl from the Escape from Homeschool video?" I was like, "Yeah, it's me." Well, of course, as the story goes, it circulated around, and eventually the video got back to my parents. I mainly remember my parents just saying how disappointed they were in me. You know, when your parents are mad at you, like because you did something dumb, like you can tell they're annoyed, and sorry mom and dad, don't be offended, but it's kind of easy to just kind of be like, okay, they're mad, like, you know, they're gonna calm down, everything's gonna be okay. But when your parents are disappointed in you, like that's like a whole new level of like, okay, sorry, I'm not your awesome child anymore. Don't you remember when you first held me in your arms and you called me beautiful? My parents, I'm sure, remembered that moment, but at that moment, they were thinking about how they were going to, like, punish me. And, you know, I'm 14, so it's like, okay, their punishment's gotta be something that hurts. Like, my punishments at that age used to be stuff like, you can't go to the movies with your friends, or, you know, you can't play your drums for 2 weeks, or, I mean, that, like, was seriously, like, the worst punishment ever. So, stuff like that. But I remember my mom came to me and she said, "You know what, your dad and I specifically said that we didn't want your face out there on the internet, and your punishment is to take the video down." And so I told my mom, I said, "Okay, I totally get it. What you don't realize is that I'm kind of famous now. So I'm gonna need you guys to understand that maybe we can just make the video private, because I don't think my fans would be okay if I took the video down. So you can put it private, and then when you're not mad at me anymore, then I can put it back up." So as I had told you guys earlier, my parents are not the negotiating kind of parents. And now as an adult, I'm grateful that they're not. I'm grateful that they taught me that you don't just get to manipulate your way out of things just because you think you're cute. I'm glad that they taught me that when, you know, the people in your life that are authority say no, you have to listen, or there are gonna be consequences. And so I'm glad that they taught me that. So my mom said no, mom and dad both, they were like, "No, the video's coming down. You're in big trouble, and that's the biggest punishment." It might seem like not seem like a huge deal, but for me, like, I was a really, you know, just insecure kid. I was going through a whole lot, and I wanted to bring people joy. You know, that was what I wanted to do, is to make videos to bring people joy. And I finally had the chance to do that. I finally had the opportunity, and I felt like my parents literally took that opportunity directly away from me, and I didn't know what to do. But it's not fair for me to sit here and act like the victim in the situation. The reality is that I was told not to do something, and I did it anyway, and I had to suffer the consequences for it. I think what made it worse is that my parents acknowledged how funny I was. Like, they were like, "You're hilarious, but you're gonna take it down." I was like, "No, y'all think I'm funny. Like, aren't they cute?" So a little bit later that year, my mom let me know, you know, after whatever, she let me know that she thought it would be okay if I posted the video again, but she said that there were going to be some stipulations that we were going to have an open account policy since I was a minor, that she would have access to my account, and that she would approve of anything that I posted before I posted it online. And that policy actually still stands today, because she is my manager. After I posted the Escape from Homeschool video again, it really didn't get a million views. It, I think, only got like a couple hundred, if that, views. And I remember feeling kind of discouraged and feeling like my chance had been ruined. I wasn't really mad at my parents anymore. I think I was just kind of facing the facts that maybe a career in entertainment wasn't for me, and I was just kind of getting over it. But it's funny because sometimes we think that you have to have the biggest audience or a million views for it to matter, for it to be a big deal, and that's not true. Out of those few hundred people that watched it, really cool things happened. One, I got to encourage some awesome homeschool kids, some awesome weird homeschool kids just like me. And two, I got to show non-homeschoolers the sarcastic side of what it looks like when you think you understand someone and you really don't, and taking it to the extreme, and really kind of have some good laughs with some non-homeschool kids. And then three, I got to be a part of a television show, and that Escape from Homeschool video became an original segment on the show called Escape from Homeschool. So maybe I didn't have as many views as the first time, but my goodness, it turned out to do some really cool stuff. And it's hard sometimes when you have big dreams in your heart and you have things that you think are supposed to happen, and you have goals that you set for yourself, and you maybe feel like the other people around you aren't supporting it, and the other people around you aren't, trying to help you go to the next level. And I gotta tell you that sometimes all that stuff is not even true. Sometimes we kind of overdo the whole, oh, I've got haters, or these people are talking bad about me. Like, no, like, don't beat yourself up. Everybody's not out to get you. Like, my parents saying that they didn't want me to put my face on the internet, they weren't being haters. They were just setting rules in place, and I had to follow those rules. And when I actually waited till they were ready and they said it was okay for me to be on social media and for me to be on YouTube and stuff, it worked out pretty great. Now, if you've just got some like random human in your life that's just like, you stink, I hate your feet, you smell like beans and chocolate mixed together, then maybe we would call that person a hater. But if you've got like parents in your life that are saying things like, dude, do your homework and get off Instagram, or if you have a big brother or a big sister that's like, maybe you should change your song a little bit, or maybe you should sing this song instead. Like, trust that the people in your life that love you and that have always loved you and that haven't let you down, just trust that they're not about to start letting you down. Maybe these big crazy dreams that you have in your heart and in your mind, maybe they're totally gonna happen, but maybe it's not time for them yet. Understand that the dreams that were put in your heart, and in your spirit, they're there for a reason, but they're not there for you to stress out over and to overwhelm yourself with trying to make some big massive dream come true. Just keep living your life where you are right here, right now. And when those dreams are supposed to happen, trust me, they will. I know from experience that trying to rush something only gets you in big trouble. My mom made me take my YouTube video down and lose all of my views. Like, come on. You know, God is like a parent, and I kind of feel like that may have sounded like I said God is like a parent, but I was saying that God is like a parent, like a mom or a dad. He is our Heavenly Father. And sometimes God says no. Sometimes he says, no, it's not time. It's not time yet. And sometimes we try to rush into it before we're ready, and we have to suffer consequences for it because we tried to do something that we knew that we weren't supposed to do. Man, just imagine a world where we all waited till he said yes, where we waited until the moment where he said yes. Things would be so much better. I wish I had waited till my parents said yes. I didn't suffer consequences for it. But later on in life, I realized through grace, through mercy, and through my parents' fantastic forgiveness, I learned that you can have a second chance, and that even if you did something dumb before, you can recover from it, and you can do something awesome later. I'm so glad that my parents and my sister, all of my family, I'm so glad that they've been so supportive with my career and with my YouTube stuff, and the support of other singers and artists and actors and musicians that have come along and encouraged me and become a part of my life over the last few years. And I hope that I can give that back. I hope I encourage you. I hope I can maybe even inspire you as you are going through life every single day. And I also get to be kind of like a big sister to some younger girls. You know, I have the best big sister in the world, and she has been such an encourager to me with my career, and she has an amazing music career. Make sure you get her album and everything. But I try to give that back, and I get to be a big sister to some awesome little girls. Tomorrow, you will see a video of me hanging out with the Jones sisters, actresses Mary Charles, Maggie, and Lillian Jones, as we learn how to be an actress. Let's be real, as I learn how to be an actress from these girls. So make sure you stick around for How To Tuesdays. See you tomorrow.